I just saw the Mario Galaxy movie with Aaliyah, and I have to say, we absolutely loved it. I'm going to give you my review. I'm going to start with no spoilers, and then later in the video, I'll give you a warning. I'm going to talk about some of the scenes and crazy stuff that happened in this. But if you haven't seen it yet, don't worry. I'm going to talk widely about it right now. And let me tell you, this was a absolute celebration, a multimedia celebration. Pictures, images, sound design, music from the entire Mario franchise history, and really just Nintendo fans, for Nintendo fans in general, just an absolute celebration of everything Mario, the callbacks, the memories, the nostalgia, just packaged into this joyful bundle of humor, of fun, of adventure, and it was absolutely magnificent. We had so much fun watching this movie. Standout character for this movie is Bowser. He not only gets the funniest scenes, but he gets the most character development in really, really awesome ways, creative ways, that I'll get into later, kind of explain stuff in the Mario franchise that you never would have thought of, but now they make sense. And he gets the most emotional scenes. He gets the tearjerker scenes, super unexpected for Bowser as well, and just becomes a really deep character in a really awesome way. As we know, this is Mario Galaxy movie, so there's just so much imagery and locations and characters from Mario Galaxy in a really, really cool way. Obviously, now we have Rosalina, as you've seen from the trailers, and it was so awesome to see her kind of brought to life in this way. And I think similarly to the first movie, really just takes these characters, and for me, what it does is it kind of, for people who maybe have only seen the movies or have only played the games, or who are going to try out the games after this, it's going to explain stuff and make it easier in that transition. So they'll be like, oh, Rosalina, or oh, Peach and Bowser and Mario. That's who they are in this. And it's going to make so much sense for both kids who are just encountering Mario for the first time in a movie like this. And then, of course, old fans like us, it kind of fills in gaps. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's really cool. So anyway, it was so much fun. Again, there's the amount of callbacks and cameos and nostalgia in this is just absolutely insane and so much fun. The music, this is it. But pretty much my only criticism of the first movie is like, man, I really wish there was less licensed music, because we love those songs that are in it and they're very well known and they're kind of like household name songs that everybody knows. A lot of them have appeared in other movies and kind of are synonymous with certain types of scenes. But you don't need to cater to the parents who are like in their 40s and 50s taking their kids, because the parents grew up with Mario and Luigi, right? So in this, they answered my criticism at there's almost no licensed music in it. It's just a magnificent orchestrated soundtrack of just nostalgia and so many amazing Mario pieces that go back to, I mean, literally all the way to the NES and then spin-off games and everything else. And there's some amazing musical cameos as well, which I won't get into now, but just absolute joyful bundle. And another character that stood out to me is Luigi. Luigi is so awesome. And I know some people had said he wasn't in the first movie as much, which made sense. It was kind of Mario's big debut as a film. But Luigi really shines here, and his relationship with Bowser is one of the most funny and kind of heartwarming things in this whole thing. The fact that Luigi and Bowser have like a book club and stuff is just absolutely insane, and it was really, really charming, and I loved it. But yeah, to me, I think what it has done is elevated the characters in a way where they're a little bit more. It's funny to say grounded in this just insane magical fantasy world with all these crazy powers, but like they're a little more grounded just why they do certain things, why they behave certain ways. I think it's really cool to have that sort of supplemental understanding and I guess lore, you might say, deep Mario lore when you go and play the games. And it just makes so much more sense. But I can't sing enough praises about the soundtrack. It was absolutely amazing. Not only the sort of surprises in the soundtrack, but just the way that Brian Taylor sort of like weaves together Mario songs. And you saw this in the first movie. You'll be listening to a piece and you'll be like, oh, that's a motif from Mario Galaxy. Oh, that's a motif from the NES. And this is, the Mario 3 like battle theme when you do multiplayer. There's just so many cool instances and stuff like that. And not to mention, again, the cameos. You will see characters in this that you haven't seen for a very long time in anything Mario. And it's just that sort of love letter feeling to everything you grew up with and the sort of joy. Like this is for Mario fans. That's the only way I can put it. Like I said, it's a multimedia celebration for Mario fans to just you know, look back on all their favorite moments, all their favorite characters, to give more depth to those things, to see them kind of finally come to life, quote unquote, even though it's not live action, in this sort of cohesive way where a journey now kind of goes in order, which doesn't really happen in Mario games, by the way, right? It always kind of resets to this like amorphous, like, yeah, Peach and Mario and everybody knows each other, but like the castle looks different sometimes. Like a lot of stuff just changes from game to game, right? But this has a cohesive story between the two movies, which I think is great. And it kind of just glues everything together in this way and kind of makes it more solid in ways where even if you're playing like, and this is a point my wife Aaliyah made, which is so smart. It's like, even when you're playing like Mario Tennis or Mario Party or something, the way some of the characters behave actually makes sense now without spoiling anything, if that makes any sense. And it was amazing for those reasons. And it's, again, just such a fun time. And I think one of the joys of this has actually been seeing even like friends, family members who are super young, seeing Mario for the first time and being like, oh, and they haven't seen the games yet. And then to get into the games and be like, this is awesome. Oh, that's Mario and that's the penguin and that's this and that. I think that is sort of the main strength of this. So it's both like looking forward the future for young people who are getting into it and kind of bringing in a new audience. And for us who've been playing Mario our whole lives, just an amazing celebration. And like I said, the soundtrack in itself, if it was released, would be like a celebrated, you know, amazing thing in the Mario fan community. So I think that alone is worth the movie. It's this incredible feat, and we had so much fun listening to it, which I think it's out now too, so you can hear it. But just such a blast. So I'm going to get into some spoilers now, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that happen in the movie. If you haven't seen it yet, cut the video now. This is your big warning, spoiler talk. So, okay, let's talk about it. I love the lore, the deep lore that happens, the sort of discovery of Rosalina and her relation to Peach. I think it's so cool that they finally explored that. And I think something to note here is that all of this is approved by Miyamoto and a couple of the amazing people who worked on Galaxy and the various games and the kind of lore of Mario. Even Koji Kondo, who worked on the music of all the Mario games, was like consulting for the score on this film. So what I like about it, in the same way that I like Final Fantasy VII Remake, is that it has most of the old people who made the game, and any sort of like additions or sort of alterations or kind of expanding of lore and stuff is approved by them in ways where it's almost like this is what we wanted to do, but we didn't really have time, or we didn't get to do it at the time. The fact that Miyamoto literally said in an interview, he's like, yeah, we talked about when we were making Mario Galaxy, the game, we talked about the relationship between Peach and Rosalina and what that is, but we never really nailed it down fully. We just kind of had like possibilities. So this gave us an opportunity to finally be like, okay, this is what it is. They're sisters. And I think that's such a cool sort of opportunity for them to go through and just pin that down and nail that down. So I love that. I thought that was really amazing. Talking about Bowser again, like what an awesome character arc for Bowser. The fact that he kind of sways and then he has this like rehabilitation in prison. And then there's this crazy moment where you're like, oh, he's just, you know, fooling them so he can get big again and then attack and everything. But you realize he's actually their friend now. That was one of the coolest twists. I'm like, what? And it was so funny. He has this like noble self-sacrifice, Bowser, and everything. And then it's actually his child, the monster that he created, that brings him back around and says, oh man, that's my kid. Like, I got to do this for him. And you know, his heart isn't in it. So it's really bittersweet when he has to fight Mario, and the fact that he saves them. He's like, oh, don't kill him, man. I actually got to know these guys. And he's like, I turned this kid into a monster, Junior. I gotta kind of work with it a little bit. You know, maybe I'll make him come around, but like, oh boy, it's gonna take a lot of work. And you can tell even when he fights at the end, he's like, kind of cutting his losses and everything. It was really good, but of course, it's just steeped in the adventure, in the action, in the jokes, and there's some great jokes in this. For sure. I think just as good as the first one. Musically, all right, and we got to talk about the cameos. Come on, Star Fox. Absolutely, it's absurd that Star Fox was in there. And the music for Star Fox. I mean, I literally was so excited because I was a huge Star Fox 64 fan. I got home from this movie. I popped on Star Fox 64 on the Nintendo Switch Online, and I was playing through it, man. I almost got to the end. I got to like the Venom fight with Star Wolf and everything. I'm like, man, I haven't even thought about Star Fox that deep in so many years. And just to hear the music, the main theme of Star Fox, on the soundtrack, and there's actually a bunch of songs. There's the Corneria theme and a bunch of other stuff from Super Nintendo. I'm like, they went all out, man. It wasn't just a simple little like cameo. Like when you think of a cameo, you think like, hey guys, I'm in this movie, and that's it. Star Fox is a character in this movie. Absolutely insane. And it makes you think like, man, they gotta revive that franchise, especially because he's gonna be like a well-known character now. And Mr. Game & Watch, I was not prepared for that. That was absolutely jaw-dropping. He used to be like a secondary for me in Smash Bros. Brawl. So the fact that he came back, I was just so excited, man. And it's funny because I've always thought, and I used to joke with my friends when Brawl came out, Game & Watch is kind of like a cosmic horror creature from the Oblivion. Like, what is he? In reality, like fighting him is terrifying. He just like moves in this really messed up way that makes no sense and is flat and can like instantly crush you and stuff. And the fact that they like made that a scary, powerful character in the movie, I thought was perfect. It was hilarious. Like Luigi just like badly draws something and it's Game & Watch. It was amazing. So that was great. I love the Rosalina Peach thing. I thought that was really emotional when they had their connection. And then I'm excited what is going to become of them in the next film too. And then of course, let's talk about the big reveal post credits. Daisy. It was so funny during the credits. I was saying to Aaliyah, it's like, oh, it's awesome because in the next movie we can have Daisy, and then she pops up right at the end. So I thought that was really fun. But I mean, yeah, I think the champion of this is definitely that it's a celebrate. It's the 40th anniversary. They say right at the beginning of Mario, and like I can't think of a better way to just celebrate it for the new generation, to introduce them, for us to go back and relive a lot of our favorite memories. Like I said, it got me to go back and replay Star Fox, which I think that's one of the biggest compliments about it. And to pop in, Mario 64 and go back to that, but then also Mario Odyssey, like there was so much. And I'm actually glad that it wasn't only Mario Galaxy, because the story in most Mario games is fairly straightforward, amazing, but straightforward. Like even Mario 64, I would love to see a movie of Mario 64, but like, what's the runtime on the story of Mario 64, right? It's not that long. So I think it's really cool that they're kind of crafting this tale that they go through the Mario Galaxy locations. There's Rosalina and there's this thing, but let's go to the next level. Let's have her relationship with Peach actually be front and center. And let's have it say, okay, Rosalina's a really powerful character. How can we implement that? Junior's going to be trying to use her power to power his like Death Star machine, right? So that's really cool too. And I like how they're kind of implementing ideas from different games. Images, like we got the dragon from Mario Odyssey at the end. I thought that was really cool. The same way they kind of included Game & Watch. Oh, let's have a big scary enemy that he painted be the dragon from Mario, the like Dark Souls level in Mario Odyssey, which was awesome. And then again, the characters from Mario 2. What in the world, man? That was crazy. Birdo and everything. Like it was absolutely insane. That was a cool sequence, by the way. I think it's an underrated sequence because Star Fox kind of is so crazy. A lot of people might have forgotten about that casino sequence. I thought it was a lot of fun. And when they play the kind of like mini game or battle theme from Mario 3, I thought that was so awesome. And I think the soundtrack really shines when they just lean into a song like that, like they did with the Star Fox song, like they did with that battle theme. It's just so much fun. So yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I mean, visually, it's really well animated. And that's another thing that's cool is when you think of Mario characters, especially like those of us who grew up with the earlier games, even like the 64 era, you see these characters in a way that's kind of just like, ding, to see them so literally animated. Their faces, like all these expressions and everything is so much fun. And it's the same thing with Star Fox. Like when I think of Star Fox, again, I haven't really played Star Fox since 64 because I didn't have a Wii U. You think of this kind of like mouth flapping face that's like one expression, and to see him just alive, like fighting and flying around and like, yeah, let's have him pilot Rosalina's observatory. It's just so cool. The Lumas too, man, they nailed that, like the kind of storybook feeling where everybody gathers around. I thought that was really cool to implement that too. So yeah, that's what I mean. It's kind of a celebration of everything just morphed into one, and I think it's really cool. And I think it's really fun. And I thought it was in the same vein as the first one, keeping with the adventure and the kind of joy. And to me, that's what Mario means. If you ever heard Mr. Martinet is the voice of Mario up until like a year or two ago. Charles Martinet, amazing legend. And the way he talks about Mario has always stuck with me. And he's like, yeah, to me, Mario is like, just facing your struggles, facing your problems, whatever it is, with a smile on your face and just showing up and being like saying, yippee, I'm going to do this. It's going to be hard. I'm going to be traveling through lava infested levels with enemies trying to eat me and all this stuff. I take to fight Bowser and save Peach, but I'm going to do it with joy, man, with a smile on my face and laughing and having a good time. And it's like, I think they've really captured that aspect of Mario in these movies so far, and I think it's really good. And again, like my criticism of the first one was like, less licensed music. We don't need that. Like this is not, everybody grew up with Mario. Everybody knows Mario. So they did it, man. They put more Mario, and to me, like the only reason I say that really is I want to hear more Mario music. I love orchestrations, but also it takes me out of it. Like just a little bit. Like let's have us just stay in the art in the Mario that we know and love. So that was a huge improvement for me, and I already loved the first movie, so I thought that was great. I love the Bowser character. I mean, I think they really saw how much everybody loved Bowser. I mean, Jack Black really injecting a lot of himself into that with writing the song in the first movie, and look how much it gave to the first movie, right? The Peaches song. So I love how they lean into it and like, all right, let's make Bowser even more of a sort of character study in here. And again, he really gets a lot of the time, the sort of character moments, and it was beautifully done. It was really awesome. But there's some really cool stuff too with Mario and Luigi and Bowser, and Peach and Mario and stuff. I thought it was really cool. Keep in mind also the runtime for animated movies for kids in this way. They're usually pretty short. So there's not a ton of time to sink your teeth into like these, super big character arcs in one film. So that's what's cool about it. I think with the Rosalina and Peach thing, that's going to be something that continues to develop when they'll get like sit down scenes. Well, maybe not a sit down scene in an adventure movie like this, but a scene where they talk. But I think my favorite scene in this movie, I will say, and I think it's the best shot scene, is the closest thing I can call it is a Star Festival for Mario Galaxy, where all the Luma sort of stardust and everything rains down, and they're all just like collecting it. Beautiful scene. And I love that they took a moment to sit with it. We had a beautiful piece playing in the music. We just had a great shot of Mario and Peach enjoying it, even of Luigi and the guys. And we took a minute or two and just sat there and let the music play and let the visuals be beautiful. That was my favorite scene. I thought it was really, really well done. And it kind of set the stage for Mario and Peach getting closer, a little bit of romance in there. I thought that was cool. But also just the kind of theme of the galaxy and the stardust beginning to kind of like encroach on their world. It was a really cool moment where it all kind of began. And they go on an adventure and everything to see the Luma and where he crash landed. So I thought it was amazing. I think that's probably my favorite scene. And also the stuff with Bowser being nice. That was such a crazy twist. Again, when you think of Bowser, and Aaliyah had this great point. She's like, wait, they did it. They actually gave a reason. If you're playing like Mario Tennis, Mario Party, whatever, when Bowser's just like hanging out with them, playing games and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, they actually are friendly in that way. So even that, they like kind of explained what's going on. And I thought it's just so much fun and really, really cleverly done. And again, just stuff that you wouldn't really think of that they kind of add lore to, which I think is amazing. So yeah, it was great. I can't wait to see the next one. I think they're doing a lot of cool stuff. And of course, everybody's talking about like the Smash Bros sort of implications here. Apparently Little Mac ran past with his trainer in the Brooklyn scene with Yoshi. It's like, oh man, they're going deep with it. So when you talk about a Smash Bros movie, man, it's definitely possible if you go into the Smash Bros Brawl story mode, right? It's definitely possible. So Subspace Emissary. But would they have other villains from? Yeah, would it be only the Nintendo guys? Are we gonna have like Cloud and Sephiroth in a Mario movie? I can't really picture that, but you never know. It'd be awesome. Sign me up for it. Get Nomura on there for a new Sephiroth design once again. Whatever, let's do it. But yeah, I thought it was so much fun. I can't say enough about it. I saw a couple people had some criticisms of it, and I'll just say this: we experienced this when we got invited to Nintendo. Recently, we got invited to this Nintendo event, got to play a bunch of games early. It was amazing and like a dream come true. And it seemed to be the minority, but a few people were kind of like, oh my, I can't believe you went to Nintendo and did this. You didn't have fun. You're just saying that. And I'm like, what? We grew up playing Nintendo. Like, it's an honor. It's a life achievement to get invited to the Nintendo thing and play games early. Like, what are you talking about? And I think it just comes down to the same people who might have criticisms of this movie in that same light, not just, general criticisms, is it's kind of like they left Neverland. You know what I mean? They became jaded in that way. And it's very hard for them to just see like a fun adventure that's meant for, you can take, if you have like a 5-year-old and have an amazing time and get them to be like, hey, we should go play Mario together sometime. And then you can have that amazing experience with your child. Like, I think it's very hard for them to get that maybe, but yeah, I don't see it. I don't see anything bad about this movie. It was so much fun. And it was a love letter to us, to the Mario fans. Like, yeah, I guess if you don't like Mario, you don't play it, you don't know about it, you have no idea, or you don't really care about, I mean, I guess you wouldn't get the celebration stuff. Yeah, it's not for you. But I mean, yeah, for us, it's like it was the perfect movie. So yeah, I thought it was great. And again, like I said, the kind of weaving of the two movies now, we're really starting to build some cool stuff and some lore, if you will, in this universe. So yeah, I think it's fantastic. And yeah, for me, it did that. It brought me back to Neverland even deeper. It's like, oh yeah, I remember all this stuff. I'd forgotten about that guy from Mario too. Like this is old stuff, man. They're referencing. So yeah, I thought it was amazing. But that's just my thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think about it. Let me know down in the comments. And yeah, I gotta watch it again. There's just so much detail. Again, talking about the visuals, like in the shots, in the references, you can pause it and see like Easter eggs all over the dang screen. There was like in Bowser Jr.'s room, there's like drawings on the wall of other stuff. I got to go back and look, but so much fun. Like I said, highlight for me. I think the jaw drop for me was Game and Watch, because just the last character I would have expected. So that was really cool. Obviously, Star Fox, absolutely insane. And there was just so many great scenes. But I think the Stardust one for me really just hit nicely, and it had that sort of. I think the first movie didn't really have this. I could be wrong. I have to go back and watch it. Just that taking a moment and taking in the atmosphere and kind of building the mood, and they nailed it in that scene. I thought it was great. Again, to have a scene like that was probably a couple minutes in a movie that's barely 90 minutes, because it has that kind of like kids movie length. Yeah, that's kind of rare. So that was awesome. I thought it was lovely. But yeah, the soundtrack, we'll be listening to that, and I'm going to be playing some more Star Fox 64. So thanks for being here. Make sure to sub, check out my cinematic breakdowns here on YouTube, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Thank you.